What if I told you your greatest enemy isn't your phone, isn't Netflix, and isn't the endless scroll of social media? It's something much more innocent. Something you do when you're bored, when you're stressed, even when you're supposed to be productive. Something that feels harmless, even comforting. But in reality, it might be the very reason your discipline is crumbling. I'm talking about daydreaming. Yes, that little mental vacation you keep sneaking off to when reality gets too heavy. Cute, isn't it? But let's dig deeper, because the truth isn't cute at all. Think about it. Every time you drift off into a fantasy, your brain is handing you rewards, dopamine, satisfaction, accomplishment, but without you actually doing anything. You imagine the victory. You picture yourself successful, admired, free, and your mind goes, "Ah, yes, we've achieved it." Except you haven't. You're still in the same messy room, same half-finished tasks, same pile of responsibilities. But the chemical rush tricks you into believing you've already lived the moment. So why bother putting in the real effort? You're addicted to the illusion of progress instead of progress itself. Daydreaming is like fast food for your brain. Tastes amazing in the moment, but rots you from the inside. And don't get me wrong, I know what you're thinking. But daydreaming is creativity. It's imagination. All the great thinkers did it. Sure, and all the great thinkers also did the work afterward. They didn't just spend 5 hours imagining themselves writing a masterpiece. They picked up the damn pen. The problem isn't the daydream itself. It's the escape it gives you from discipline. Because discipline is ugly. It's boring. It's repetition. It's silence. It's frustration. It's failing over and over until something finally clicks. Who wouldn't want to escape into a shiny alternate reality instead? Here's the irony. The more you daydream about your future, the less likely you are to actually create it. You sit there picturing your dream body while skipping the gym. You imagine the applause after giving a speech, but never write the speech. You fantasize about success so vividly that your brain feels satisfied and checks out before the real work even begins. It's like your ambition is being slowly siphoned away into a fantasy dimension where nothing ever actually happens. That's not imagination, it's self-sabotage with a smile. But here's the darker part. Daydreaming doesn't just rob your discipline, it reshapes your mind. Over time, you start craving the fantasy world more than reality. Why? Because in your dream world, you're in complete control. Everyone loves you. Everything works out. There are no awkward silences, no failures, no humiliations. Reality, on the other hand, is messy and cruel. Reality makes you grind. So naturally, your brain chooses the path of least resistance, slipping further and further into daydreams until real life feels unbearable in comparison. And when reality feels unbearable, discipline becomes impossible. Why fight uphill battles when you can close your eyes and instantly be a winner? Now let's add a sarcastic twist. Imagine your future self watching you. The version of you who's supposed to be disciplined, successful, admired, living the life you always wanted. That future self is standing there, arms crossed, watching as you spend 3 hours staring out the window, imagining a TED Talk you'll never give. Imagine their face. Disappointment, mixed with pity. Wow, look at them go, winning Nobel Prizes in their head while leaving actual deadlines to rot. Congratulations, you've mastered the art of being a legend in your imagination and a ghost in reality. Of course, I'm not saying you should never daydream. The human mind needs escape sometimes. But there's a difference between using daydreaming as a tool and letting it use you as a victim. The tool version looks like this. You daydream briefly, get inspired, and then bring that vision into the real world with discipline. The victim version looks like this. You daydream, feel satisfied, and repeat until your life becomes nothing but an effing graveyard of unfinished ambitions. Which version are you? Honestly, you already know. And here's where it gets even creepier. Researchers call it maladaptive daydreaming. It's when people spend so much time lost in fantasy that it becomes an addiction. Hours slip away. Real connections are replaced with imaginary ones. Reality blurs. And discipline? It evaporates completely. What's the point of self-control if you can simply dream yourself into the life you want? The problem is, when you wake up, the bills are still unpaid. The body is still weak. The skills are still unlearned. And the person staring back in the mirror? Still the same. Maybe worse. Because the more you escape, the less capable you are of facing reality. But let's strip away the psychology terms and just be brutally honest. Daydreaming is the cheapest drug your brain will ever find. No needles, no substances, no cost. Just pure, uncut fantasy, available on demand. And like any drug, the side effect is withdrawal. The moment you're back in reality, it feels dull, empty, unsatisfying. So what do? Chase another high, another fantasy, another mental escape. Over and over, until your entire life is nothing but little mental movies that no one will ever see. Is that discipline? Or is that decay dressed up in glitter? Now, here's the final twist. Daydreaming isn't killing your discipline because it's bad. It's killing your discipline because you've chosen to replace reality with illusion. You've traded hard-earned progress for cheap dopamine. You've swapped real battles for imaginary victories. And deep down, you know it. That's why you feel guilty when you catch yourself zoning out. That's why you get that sting of shame when you realize another hour has passed and nothing got done. That's your subconscious screaming at you. Wake up. Your discipline is bleeding out while you play make-believe. So the next time you catch yourself lost in a fantasy, ask yourself, am I feeding my imagination or am I feeding my weakness? Because one will push you toward building the life you want, and the other will quietly murder your discipline while you smile. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. The world doesn't reward dreamers. It rewards doers. You can fantasize about success all you want, but until you drag yourself out of your head and into reality, you're just another ghost haunting your own potential. And that's the real tragedy. Not that you dream too much, but that you could have lived those dreams if only you had the discipline to stop imagining and start doing.